Hello. Hi. Hello, everyone. How are you? How are you? How are you? We are here. We are doing it. We are having a good time. Oh my God. Okay. So let me turn our little music down a little bit. Okay. So hi, only me. Hello. How are you? Hi. Okay, so I was gone for a little bit. My kids had the ever awful hand, foot, and mouth. Yeah. And let me tell you, when I tell you that was something. I've never seen anything like it. I'd like to never see anything like it ever again. And, yuck. But they were out all week. My daughter got it starting Saturday night to Sunday, all through the week. My son started getting it Tuesday, but it didn't hit him as bad as it hit my daughter. My daughter was absolutely awful. It was awful. So we're going to hang out today. We're going to chat. We're going to have some fun. I do want to go over, there's a podcast that I'd like to go over. It's Raven Simone, and she has, what's her name? Miranda Sings on her podcast. And I've heard it's really bad. I don't want to do anything serious today or like anything that we usually do. I need to cleanse and like floss my brain. Also, I'm covering a case right now that's, pretty serious. So I just need something to relax and be able to talk to you guys. And yeah, isn't that like where there's canker sores in the mouth? What happens to the feet? So the way my daughter got it was she got blisters all over her hands and then all over her feet. And then, yeah, you do get it inside of your mouth. Other people, they've had it like so bad that it's gone into other areas. Like it's been pretty rough. I'm going to go ahead and share. Oh, thank you. Hi, Dexterity. Hello. How are you? I was supposed to change the live stream thing. Oh, well, I didn't. Whoops. I was going to change the thumbnail. Hello, Grace. Hello. I've missed you. Yes. Ouch. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. But yes, I am back. I missed you guys as well. I'm just so happy to be back. Honestly, I put on a full face of makeup today. I was like, I'm wearing a full beat. I am wearing just makeup, putting myself together. It's the first time in a week and a half I've put myself together. Dexterity, I'm doing great. My kids are back at school. We just had a case of hand, foot, and mouth in this house. So it was pretty terrible. With that being said, there's this podcast that I want to take a look at, and we'll see if you guys want to take a look at it too, or we can just talk and chit chat for a while. I don't even care. And topics, hilarious, and your delivery of topics cases are legit. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. You look thinner in the face. Thank you. So I've been working out. I'm on my which week am I on? 25, 26. I finished, if you follow me on Instagram, I put it up. So I have a tonal at home and I just finished, it's called 12 Weeks to Jacked. And it's funny because I'm not losing any weight. I'm doing what's called body recomp. So you just kind of take your fat, like turn it into muscle. I'm not looking at trying to like, I don't know. I don't care about that anymore. I just want to feel strong and I want to feel healthy. They just came out with a Pilates program, which I am so excited about, or Pilates workouts. I want them to have programs, but I am so excited about the Pilates workouts. So yeah, but thank you. I'm glad you noticed, because it's hard too. Like when you're working out and you're like, oh, do I see any changes? Like I feel the changes in my clothes and I can see the changes in my clothes, but I don't always like see it, normally. So also it might be because my camera is further back than I normally have it. I usually have the camera like way up close, but yeah. Okay. So let us, I want to go to YouTube. I want to watch this podcast podcast. Hold on. I also want to tell everybody that we are live. Oh, okay. It already says I am live. Perfect. Perfection. Okay, so I want to watch. It's Colleen. Is it Colleen or Colleen Ballinger? But she was. Let me get to it. Raven Simone podcast, and it's called Tea Time. Where is it? Tea Time. Okay, so here we go. All right, so Hope, hi, how are you? The Discord for you, Mr. Pike. Mr. Pike, you are an angel. An angel. I love you. Thank you. Also, hello. Thank you. Yes, I noticed that you did it for me. Always on it. Always on it. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Miranda Sings before we get into this. If you don't know, this girl, Colleen or Colleen Ballinger, however you say her name, did Miranda Sings character on YouTube. She blew up. She had, I don't even know how many subscribers she had, but a ton. So it comes out from this other YouTuber named Adam McIntyre that she had this group chat called like the Weenies. And, it was all of young kids, and she would go in there and she would just say like wildly inappropriate stuff. And, LJ God, hello. And so everybody got mad at her. They tried to cancel her. And it was just a whole thing. So now we're just going to kind of watch this video. I don't want to do anything that requires brain power today. I just want to sit with you guys and talk shit on the internet. Why is my camera so laggy? Hold on a second. Uno momento, por favor. Let's see. Sometimes when you like add, where is it? Not canceled. She was not canceled. Why is this? What is going on with my? What? Hold on. Let me see. Let me see if I can change. Continuous focus. Okay. Do your job, camera. All right, continuous focus. So we'll do that. Not canceled. I mean, they said they tried to cancel her. I don't know if I believe that anybody really gets canceled on the internet. If that were the case, a whole bunch of people would never come back. But people seem to be able to, continue to do these jobs and, kind of skirt past it, even if the allegations are horrifying. So, hello, Medell. Welcome in. Okay, so I got the video pulled up. Because God knows I got ads, girl. Let's go through this, and then we're just going to talk about this podcast. Whoop. Don't worry about me. Don't you worry about me. Professional streamer. Oh, because I have to turn this off. Okay, because Lil Ham's not here. Got it. You got it, dude. All right, there we go. Oh, trolls. Yay. I love a good troll. Guess what, guys? I finally figured it out. Hold on, watch this. How do I do it? Now I don't know. Look it. We can put chat in timeout. Little timeout chat. Silly little chatters. Silly little chatters. You silly goofballs. Strike one. All right, let me turn my music off. And then we're going to go ahead and take a look at all this. Okay, here we are. So this is Raven Simone. If you guys don't remember, if you're my age, you would remember her from The Cosby Show. If you're a little, strike three, Mr. Pike. If you're a little younger than me, she had a show on Disney called That's So Raven, which my siblings watched a lot. And then home run. And then now she has a podcast. This is her partner, whose name is Miranda. And yeah, I think that's a record. It's just like 10 seconds in the chat. So whatever. Anyways, so they decided that they're going to put Colleen on here, and they explain a little bit about it. To platform somebody who's been called a groomer and an abuser and not to platform the victims, I think is it's a choice. It's a choice, ladies. But I mean, do what you got to do to get the views, I guess. Anyways. Oh.
Miranda Sings.
If you were anywhere online in 2023, you probably saw Colleen's name trending. It's
Hi, Joe.
because she was accused of crossing personal boundaries with fans, some of whom were minors, and the response was intense.
She posted a response video that made the whole situation blow up even more. And what followed was one of the biggest public cancellations we've seen in a while.
This is actually the first time that we're meeting Colleen, and we've decided to do it now because we feel like enough time has passed for reflection and learning. And
This happened about 2 years ago, by the way.
for a real conversation
We're talking about Colleen Ballinger, the girl who does Miranda Sings.
behind the headlines.
It's easy to form opinions based on what we see online, but harder to sit down face to face and ask questions about what's really happened, what someone's taken from it, and how they're moving forward.
Our goal isn't to revisit
I find it interesting too. A lot of this was not opinion based. I'll actually look it up. Yeah, that's so Raven. I'll look it up. They had a lot of evidence. They had a lot of text messages. They had a lot of like there were FaceTime calls, there were DMs, there was just like all sorts of evidence that Colleen herself did these things. And also what a lot of people don't talk about is Colleen's brother. Her whole family is like in the YouTube sphere, but her brother used her fame specifically to I shouldn't say specifically, but used her fame to prey on younger children. If you guys want me to do a video about it, I would love to do a full in-depth because it's a wild ride. I remember this going down in real time and then the ukulele apology coming out and just being like, what the fuck?
every detail, but to understand the human side of the story that became very public.
The human side would be to understand the side of the victims, in my opinion.
So today, Colleen is here to share her perspective in her own words, to share what she's learned, what she regrets, and what she hopes all of us take away from it now.
And we're here to listen.
Here's our conversation with Colleen Ballinger.
You know, now that I'm a mom, obviously every choice I make, I think about how it could affect my children. And I wish that I went into...
Oh, God. I'm also a mother. I'm going to have to stop this so many times because the first thing I'm going to say is like, oh, because I'm a mom, I see how this affects my kids. Because you're a mom, do you see how this affected other kids? Like, do you see how your actions could have been wrong? Not, you know,
my interactions with my fans with that same mindset of like everything I say can affect them, and think about how this can affect these people that you're interacting with.
My next guest tonight is one of the most popular YouTubers in the world. Her videos have garnered more than 1 billion views online.
You all know her as Miranda Sings.
Please welcome Colleen Ballinger.
Over 6 million subscribers, nearing 2 billion views, now a Netflix show.
You're famous. You're famous. We're both famous.
Colleen has written
also, too, there's been a lot of people in the YouTube sphere that have said that she is just nasty. Like, she's just not a nice person.
best-selling self-help book, is touring around the world, and has appeared with the likes of Jimmy Fallon and Jerry Seinfeld.
YouTube star Colleen Ballinger, who's better known as her online persona Miranda Sings, is facing significant backlash. She's been accused of having inappropriate relationships with some of her underage fans.
And now a new video she made is landing the content creator in even more hot water.
They wanted an explanation.
To apologize through ukulele is diabolical, honestly. Now that it's two years later, I don't even know when the ukulele apology came out. When did that come out? I don't know. But I just imagine people being like, hey, you were doing some fucked up shit to underage kids. And you're like, this ukulele, perhaps? What?
Explanation. And they deserved that. And I didn't give it to them.
What happened personally, internally?
I was so caught up in the things that weren't true that were being said about me that I feel like I wasn't listening to the things
Shani.
that were true. I don't blame anyone but me. It was like a part of my brain was missing. People do make mistakes, and people can learn and grow and change.
Did you know they were underage at the time?
I see parents making this mistake all the time, but most kids are.
Welcome back to another episode
Why can't
of
we
Tea
just
Time.
leave the kids alone? Well, and the thing is like she talks about this, how she started doing her comedy, and then it started, little kids loved it. Like little kids loved her comedy, which is fine. But if you're tailoring your genre or whatever your form of entertainment is to children, then you should be hyper aware of who your audience is. And the other, I don't know, I wasn't even paying attention to the ad. But the other thing is I can go into here. Actually, let's do it right now. Okay, I can go into my oh, maybe I can't. Maybe I can. Maybe I can't. Yes, I can. Okay, so I can go into the back end of my YouTube studio, and I could tell you right now, you go to analytics, you go to audience, and I can tell you exactly right now, my audience percentage of 13 years to 17 years old is 0%. My content is not made for children. It does not appeal to children. I don't want children. That is not my audience. My biggest audience, my biggest demographic is 35 to 44 years old, which would make sense. I'm 40. But the other thing is the youngest people on my channel are anywhere between 18 to 24 years old. So she can't sit here and say like she doesn't know what the demographics are. It's so easy to look at your channel and look at who's viewing your stuff, who likes it the most, and who interacts with it the most. See a little smudge on my screen as a chat. I thought the screen was dirty. Oh God! Yay, Shawnee! Yay! This is a child. Yeah, you know who you're pandering to, and you still chose to be wildly inappropriate. So whatever.
And the podcast, we have somebody who you definitely know, because if you know YouTube,
you know her.
You know her. You have to know her.
Thank you.
Colleen Ballinger.
That is it. That is my name.
You said it right.
You did.
I get so nervous about like butchering people's names, even though I know your name is
because
Colleen
everybody
Ballinger,
butchers
and
hers.
I've said it so many times.
It wouldn't bother me if you did. Most people don't say it right. My whole life it was Colleen Ballinger.
Ballinger.
Yeah,
people said
I'm
usually.
Mayday, and so people are always like
Midday.
Midday, because it's not with a middle Y.
Oh, okay.
So it gets
okay.
very
Yeah,
confusing.
my name is Raven. People call me Janet. It's so weird. I don't understand.
Okay,
Anyway, we really appreciate you being
we're
here
really happy that you're
today.
here.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, there is a very big elephant in the room,
Yeah,
and I think that we just have to address it.
Sure.
immediately.
Why Miranda?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was thinking about that. I was like, how do we address this when I get there?
It's pretty massive.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry. I mean, luckily for you, she's been gone for a while, so you don't have anyone to compete with that name. But
Thank you.
yeah. I mean, do you actually want the answer to that question?
Yes, I do.
Why Miranda? Why did I name her? Why does she exist?
Why did you name her? We'll get into
Why
the
did you
other
name
stuff
her
later.
and then that?
I was in college doing a play, like a one-act thing, some student-run thing, and I was cast as the role of Miranda. And I thought it was a show about Disney princesses. That's what I was told.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I'm going to get Belle. And then it was like, you're Miranda. And Miranda was like the mean, rude girl in the show. And then when I actually performed it, I think our biggest audience was like 7 people or something. There wasn't a lot of people who came. So when my friends came, I would sing just off key, just a little bit, like just under the pitch or just above the pitch, or like be awkward on stage to make them laugh.
Yeah.
And so when I created the character, I needed a name. I just finished that show, and I didn't put much thought into it. It was just, oh, I just did this character with this name, so I'll use that, you know.
Wow.
You're a mom of 3 now.
It's funny because I specifically remember a video of her being like, she came up with this character because she was making fun of people that were in her acting class that she thought were full of themselves and that she didn't like. So she made this character who like thought that she was so good at acting and so good at singing. And yeah, I don't know. All right, well, that's a different version of how she came up with this story. But El Jacad, a librarian. Dude, watch Big City Greens, the librarian episode. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's kind of creepy, but it's funny. I like it.
I believe that.
Right?
That's so, that's, I don't know if I keep thinking there's going to be a day where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a mom. Like it doesn't, I can't, like, it can't even, it doesn't, like I obviously am a mom and I love my kids more than anything in the world, but it's like.
I can relate to that. Like every once in a while, I'll have this moment of awareness where I like wake up, even though I'm already awake, but I just like have this moment and I'm like, how the fuck did I have 2 kids and I'm married in this house? How did I get here? Like, like all of a sudden I just teleported here.
I love Flynn, Maisie, and Wesley. Like, I'm like, I don't have 3 kids.
How old do you feel in your body or in your brain? Like, how old do you feel? Because I feel like 20 sometimes.
20s, yeah. I'd say like mid to late 20s. I feel like I'm stuck there, like in my mind of like, that's, yeah, maybe even younger. I don't know, but I definitely don't feel like I'm in my 30s. And when people say my age, I'm like, oh my God, why are you calling me old? Like, I don't, and I'm like, oh, they just said my age. Got it. You know, so
What is your age?
So interesting.
Hilarious.
Oh, me? Oh, you're 38.
8, I think, yes, 38.
We're the same age.
You're 38?
I'm 38.
You look a lot younger than that.
But thank you.
You look like what did you say before we started? A young British boy.
Yes. I'm a young British
The loving
boy.
words I heard them speak to
Hello.
each other before we started filming.
But let's talk about it though, because you come from a big family. And I'm sure that when you have that many siblings, like you're just able to say whatever and blurt it out, and it's like joking and moving around. And one thing that I learned when I was on The View is that there's a difference between live in front of the audience and what's happening at home. And it took me a while to kind of learn that conversation. So to slowly just kind of talk about it, do you feel?
I don't know if I buy that because my family is very abrasive. They also just some of the most heinous shit is funny to them. At one point, it was funny to me. That's what I grew up in, and that's what people said to each other. And but then you learn. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Feel like you're at home when you're in front of a camera and you feel like that, or have you?
Totally.
Okay.
I mean, that was the whole thing, right? I mean, when I started doing YouTube, it was like kind of when YouTube started.
Yeah.
So the whole appeal of it, I feel like back then was that these people who were getting famous online, they weren't celebrities. They were real people. We were in our home. Like that was the appeal of it, is that we were your friend, someone who's just, I'm talking to you from my living room, from my kitchen, talking about my day. So yeah, definitely it's really hard to separate the two between like what's private home life and then what's part of the public persona. To me, it was always one and the same. So, and it's
interesting too, because she said before that Miranda is a completely separate character than who she is as a person, that they're not the same person.
That was a hard thing for me to figure out the lines and boundaries of that, because I thought that was the whole appeal of like back then, when I started doing YouTube, it's that I wasn't a celebrity. The people who rose to fame in the beginning, they're just like us. They're, that's
Is that what made you want to start YouTube?
No.
What made you?
It was when I found it was like brand new. I, saw that people were talking to a camera alone in their room.
Hi.
And I was like, that's so strange, because now everyone talks to their phone, talks to their camera
Yeah.
constantly. It's like, that's all we do all day. But 20 years ago, that was like, what are they doing? Do they know that I can see this? Like, I can see them sitting in their room talking to the camera. So
I am
created the character
international. Hello, Croatia.
Miranda, and not you, but like my actual character. And I put it online for my friends. Like, you know, it was a joke for my friends because, like I said, I used to sing a little bit off the pitch, like in theater and choir.
Yeah, so she said that in another video, I don't know. I just recall her saying that she started it to make fun of the people that she was like in acting class with. That's why she did it.
Make them laugh. So I created this character that was like a little off with her singing, but was really cocky. You know, I thought it was funny, and I put it on to send to my friends. And so I only uploaded stuff to YouTube to send to family and friends as like a joke, or, you know, performance videos of me to send to my parents at home. I was in college. There was no such thing as a YouTuber when I started doing YouTube. It was just a website you could upload videos to. There was no desire to become famous from it. There was no desire to become a YouTuber because that wasn't a thing. There weren't influencers. It was just people uploading videos.
I have a question about Miranda.
Okay.
Why the red lipstick?
Well,
I don't care about
in the
any of
beginning,
this.
I would do whatever people
Oh,
didn't
my
like. Because in the
God.
beginning, originally, I thought it was so funny that people couldn't tell if she was real or not, and so people thought it was real, and
Meaning
they thought Miranda was a real person.
Like, that was you.
Yeah, they thought
Okay.
it was. So for a while, that was it. Like, people thought Miranda was a real person, and so whatever people said they didn't like in the comments, I would do it more because I was like, who sits and just writes like, you know, these are strangers to me. I don't know these people. And again, this is when it was all new. Like, this is brand new.
Sorry,
to me,
y'all,
to the
it's still
world.
happening.
Oh, yeah, but
I'm a little aware. But
Like,
like,
these comments-
Yeah, it's funny. It's all. It's like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't. And I'm sure 20 years ago, I'm sure she had no idea like what this would turn into. None of them did. Nobody did. There was not influencers. There was not like money to be had for this whole thing. So, I mean, to a level, I understand that. But to put it out on the internet and then people are talking back to you like, you know, I mean, there is a level of public, you know, that you're putting it out to.
It's a lot different now. It's much different now than it was. But when they started trickling in, it was like they'd say, "Oh, I don't like how you pronounced this word," and so I mess up how I pronounce words more moving forward. I tried to egg on the comments a little bit in the beginning because I thought it was funny that people thought it was a real character.
You know, it sounds like you were doing
Real person.
it sounds like you were doing performance art and having the audience inform you of where to go next, knowing that a little tinge of under the note is very appealing at times, right? And that's how you kind of gained your following, by just a little bit of irritation to where people could hate and could love at the same time.
Right. Yeah, I think the appeal in the beginning was that people couldn't tell if it was real or not. And then when people figured out that it wasn't real, they felt like they were in on a joke or something. They were in on it, and that was fun for them. And, you know, like I said in the beginning, it was an older audience for the first few years of my career.
I have to say, I never once understood it. There was like one video, I think, that made me laugh, and it was like her stanky leg video. And it wasn't even the video that made me laugh. It was the fact that like me and my friend would send it back and forth, and then like we would do it. But her stuff, like I've never understood it. I never got it. I was never a part of it. Like I was not a part of the Miranda Sings stuff.
Career. And I was doing a lot of, nightclubs and stuff like that.
How old do you think?
I've just graduated college, so there were people my age, but it was the gay theater community. It was like a lot of like older gay men that would like come to my shows. And so, you know, my comedy was it was crass and, over the top and whatever, but they liked that they were in on this joke. And Miranda was a lot more subtle at the beginning too. You know, over time it became this like really dramatic part.
Her TV show on Netflix, somebody sent me the first 10 minutes and how much she talks about like incest and the weird relationship with her uncle. Yuck. Somebody's like, you got to get through the first season. I couldn't get through the first 10 minutes of the first episode.
More cartoony, like intense character, but like in the beginning it was much more subtle. And over time, as people commented what they didn't like, I would do things more. So in the beginning, people I think were drawn to the fact of, is this an actor or not? And then once they figured that out, and then the audience kind of grew
not in
and
a good
changed over
way.
the years, the appeal shifted because I noticed people started coming to the shows and saying that they were inspired by the character, and they were inspired by her resilience, and that she didn't care what haters said about her, and she didn't care that people were bullying her. She still just was her true authentic self and was confident no matter what anyone said. And so that was never my intention, but it was a cool thing to watch happen, that all of a sudden people were inspired.
And this was still live, right? This was not on YouTube yet.
Well, it was on YouTube. It was both. So I had YouTube, and I used YouTube as a way to promote the live shows. So online it was mostly, you know, people hating Miranda. I mean, there were some comments too, like laughing and thinking it was fun and silly and whatever. But yes, it was definitely in person and fan letters and whatnot. That's where I would get the comments of like, this really helped me.
This is Colleen Ballinger. She's the one who does Miranda Sings. She's on this podcast trying to save her career, I guess.
to be myself, to be my weird self, and to have confidence and not listen to the haters. And that was like a really pleasant surprise of doing the character that I wasn't expecting, was it becoming something that kind of became an inspiration for people to not care what people thought, especially as the internet was growing and rising, and online bullying and hate was getting worse and worse. Like, I think it was good for people to see and hear someone who wasn't traditionally pretty or talented. It was like this weird looking, untalented girl. Like, I don't care what you say, I'm so confident. Like, she didn't, Miranda didn't care what anyone said.
When Miranda came to be, it really wasn't like, that was for an adult audience.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I certainly never thought I'm making a kid show or a kid character or something to entertain children. Like, that was never the goal ever, actually, in my career. And even when I did my Netflix show, that was a discussion that we had constantly, because they were like, they were noticing, because they came to a couple of my live shows, the people involved, and they're like, oh, there's a lot of teens here. So let's put this on the kids app. And I was like, whoa, this is not a kid show. Like, I do not want this on the kids app. That would be inappropriate. Like, this is 100% not for children. And it was like but they really wanted that because they saw a younger audience, and they were like, we want the younger audience to be able to see this. And I was like, that's fine, but like, they need their parents' approval, because this is not a kid show and this isn't a kid character. So I never set out for it to be for kids, or it was.
But the kids liked you, and then it's funny because you're willing to take your money, but you're not willing to take their money, and you're willing to pander to them, but you're not willing to take responsibility. Right. She's minimizing the facts. That's a great way to put that. Thank you very much. She's very much minimizing. And I never set out to do true crime. That was not my goal. That's not what I set out to do. It's just kind of how Shani, I have a husband. I've been married for 10 years. I am very happy. Thank you. But you may not set out to do certain things, but if you choose to take on those roles, you also have to take on the responsibility that comes with it. And I make more, personally, if I would have a podcast or whatever where I could just truly be myself, I would be a total asshole. Because that's just who I am. I'm just silly. I'm an asshole. I say whatever I feel like. When I'm dealing with true crime and, the nature of these stories, I have a responsibility if I choose to move forward with that genre. Those were the videos that my audience wanted to see. Those were the videos that I was like, okay, this is also something that I'm interested in, but I cannot be my normal, crass, abrasive self when I'm talking about victims. And I understand that. And that's the thing. This may not be a kid's character. This may not have been a kid's show, but when kids are flocking to you and you're starting to pander to them and you're starting to take their money and you're starting to sort of integrate, content that they're going to like, yet you still have this character being infantilized and doing like incest jokes and doing hyper-sexualized content, you can't just be like, well, I never set out for this. It just sort of happened that way. No, if you continue to go down that path, then you have a responsibility to be like, okay, I didn't plan for this, but now my audience is children. Or you could pivot your content, which you chose not to do. You didn't choose to pivot at all. So then take responsibility for what you did. Right. This is not a kid show, but I will definitely take it on and interact with the children. Exactly. Good God.
Like I said in the beginning, my comedy was pretty crass. And you can go back and look at like my old original content.
Also, if you are a mom, right, and you would not allow your child to interact with the content that you make, why are you then pandering to other people's children? My daughter wants to sit with me and stuff when I'm editing videos. I don't allow her to sit with me and talk or be with me while I'm working because I don't want her to take in the content that I'm making. I don't allow her to watch true crime podcasts or anything like that. But also, I don't make content that is pandering to other people's children.
First videos I ever uploaded, like my humor was that of like a, mid-20s girl who was in theater and, with all my gay friends just we were being like silly and ridiculous and crude. But the people watching me, they liked that style of comedy and that style of humor.
You said that Miranda Sings, you had a good 20-year run. 20-year run with that. You had a Netflix show, girl. I ain't even had a Netflix show. Goddamn. I'm sorry. Thank you. Yep. I can do anything. You had a 20-year run. You explained that you hustled to make that character what it was. And then the world imploded. And then you got canceled. And then you had all these accusations and a lot of voices come through the screen that had been rooting for you for so long. You had the rug pulled out from underneath you.
Scribe is how you stop it.
So I'm going to, because the ad is here, I want to take a break from that. And I want to go over to, let's pull in Reddit. And because I want to talk about the accusations before we get into this part so that we know what she was being accused of and we know what they have proof of. Let's see. Pop Crush. Colleen Ballinger, the YouTube creator famous for her grading Miranda Sings characters under fire. Okay. 13 claims. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Adam McIntyre, who is a YouTuber on the platform, was only 13. And he claimed he was groomed and used by Colleen Ballinger. And he has a shit ton of proof that goes along with it. So here's Adam McIntyre. He's a 20-year-old social media influencer and YouTube star who amassed more than 206 subscribers on the platform. I think that he is actually at almost 500,000. He talks about his relationship with her, but it wasn't just him. It was about another girl coming up on stage, and she didn't barely have any clothes on, and they did like sexual stuff with her on the stage. And there was a skit where like they address in this podcast where a little boy had to pick cheese balls like out of her pants, like just stupid ass shit. But she sent lingerie when Adam was underage, sent him lingerie. It wasn't worn. She explains it, but he was in the live stream. It doesn't matter. As a woman, you should never be sending intimates to to a child. I don't. The biggest thing though is the Weenies chat, and that was a chat where all of her like little kid fans could go, and she could go in there and she could talk to them back and forth, and she would ask them to talk about their periods. She would ask them if they were virgins. She would tell them to send like sexy pictures of themselves and sexually inappropriate messages. Appears to ask Adam, who was 15 at the time, if he was a virgin. Also asked him what his favorite positions were, and also requested a photo of his butt. Let me think. Ew. So something like this is what she sent to kids. So, that's great. Let's see. I think some people have never internalized the idea and spirit of community could contribute to why Ballinger didn't understand why she was responsible for where her content goes. What do you mean? Because she created this community, like the Weenies and these little chats. So, how's it going? Hi, Chad. Hello. Let's see, made fun of her fans' mental health and allegedly joked about certain fans' dedication to her, privately mocking one fan who had gotten a tattoo of her name on their arm. She would jokingly draw, they used to jokingly draw the tattoo with a Sharpie, making fun of it. Would mock fans after taking photos with them. She would often body check, which is like, when people like check themselves out to, body checking is examining or measuring or monitoring something related to your body, usually your size, your shape, which can be problematic if the behavior is compulsive and interferes with your ability to go about your daily life. And I mean, that's something that she must deal with, but then she put that on the kids in her chat. She would talk about them being skinny. She would love bomb Adam. She would make him, work for free What else? Oh yeah, she discussed intimate, inappropriate details about her relationship with her husband and her divorce from her ex-husband with young teenagers. Let's see. She would go to them for therapy, all sorts of different stuff. So, I mean, just so we know what the accusations are before we get into everything, and just so we have a better idea, I just want to make sure that, you know, we all have an understanding of how serious these allegations were. I only enjoy dark humor as much as the next person. However, I know where I can say that stuff. Well, modding, for example, is not the play. It depends. I mean, it depends on the chat. It depends on the people. For us, you know, with true crime, you know, today would be the day, right? When it's much more relaxed. But like, hi, Alexia. But, you know, it's just, yeah. But we're also not kids. We're not kids. I don't have kids in my chat. Our private Discord, I have it set to 18 plus. I don't want kids in my chat. I don't want children around. It's not, I am not, and not because like, I'm not a content creator for children. She, according to what she is saying in this interview, saw herself as a performance artist and comedian only, not as a community member. They were not her community. They were her audience or workshop. Yeah, I mean, I can understand. I can get that, right? Like, I can understand that. But then when there's backlash, right? If you're like, all right, you're my audience, that's it. And there's backlash, like, I think that there's a place to do some self-reflection and be like, oh, I fucked up. Like, I fucked up. Alexia, we're talking about Colleen Ballinger. So we're talking about Miranda Sings and some of the things that she had go on, the accusations, but she's here to apologize 2 years later. So I guess maybe.
We will get into those and kind of talk a little bit about some of the comments people have made and how certain situations have made watchers and viewers feel. But I first want to ask you, when you first got that ting about, oh no, something is going astray, what happened personally, internally to you?
You know, it was kind of a slow build. And I feel like I felt it brewing for a little bit first. You know, it was a very jarring experience. And first, I think I should say, you know, when my audience kind of grew and it went from this older audience to, you know, it spread and there was now a lot more teens watching me. I didn't adjust my.
It was not just teens, though. I mean, if you look at her shows and some of the videos that they had panning across the audience, these were children, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I got to be honest with you, from what I'm understanding, some of the parents had no idea what was in the show until they went to the show, which I find, if you have kids that young, like, I find that gross. That's a responsibility that Colleen has to make the audience aware that this is not for children. But children were the biggest demographic.
Comedy very much because I was like, well, they found me doing this, so this is what they like and this is what I like, so I'm going to keep doing the comedy they like. And I did adjust it a little bit over time. But one thing that I didn't do, and I should have been much more careful about, is I didn't adjust my interactions with my fans. And that's something I regret a lot because, like I said earlier, the difference between me and
This is a great point. The fact that she knew Adam was underage and did all those things tells me a lot about her. Also, you have to remember, too, when Adam was 15 and all of this was going on, she was 30. And I got to tell you, we have had this conversation. Hi. Who's that? Let's see. Rita? Rydell? Hammy? I like that. Hammy. But the thing is like, what are we talking about now? Underage. She was 28. She was about 30, right? When like she was doing this. we have talked about this time and time again. I'm 40, okay? You're not going to see me corresponding on a friend level with a 15-year-old. Not going to happen. I have friends that are my age. I have friends that are older than myself. But I'm not like to talk to children about my marriage, to talk to children about sex, to talk to children about just some shit that's wildly inappropriate. No thanks. No thanks. No, yeah, the ukulele thing. And so that's what you said. Okay, it tells me a lot about her. The thing is that she blew the apology the first time when it would have been useful. Yes, everybody came out with this, and then you're right, she came out with a ukulele. Everybody was like, hey, actually, we could probably watch that today for funsies if you guys want. And that's how seriously she took it. People were like, hey, you did some pretty heinous shit. Do you want to explain it to us? And she's like, I'm gonna sing about it. Like, why can't people stay offline? Like, does she need to come back? Is anyone wanting her presence? This is her career now, I think, and it gets to a point where it's like, she can't really do she's kind of stuck herself, right? She can't really do anything else. It's not like she can go into like movies or TV shows. Who's going to have her? And she makes enough money on YouTube, I'm sure, that she doesn't. What is she going to go get a regular job at Costco as Colleen Ballinger, just like boop, boop, like, I mean, so I'm sure. But the thing is that I don't understand is not so much that like, why can't she stay offline, but why can't she stop talking about this? Because it's like every time you talk about this, you're just going to dig a little deeper. You're just going to, you're never going to get out from under this because you fucked up so bad. You know what? You know what might get her out of this? Might. Is if she was like, listen, I'll have a sit down with Adam McIntyre on his channel under his terms. Nothing is off limits. Maybe. And if she was like forthcoming and she was like, yeah, listen, I fucked this up. I'm sorry. She doesn't even mention his name in here when she apologizes specifically to him. Anyways, I have nothing in common with young adults I teach at the college. I cannot sending your drawers to a teen. Right. Sending. And let me tell you, as a mother, send your underwear to my son and catch these fucking hands. Okay. Because I got women's rights and I got fucking women's lefts. Let's fucking just go. Send your fucking drawers to my son. I dare ya. Adults that don't fully transition to adulthood are creepy. Yeah, there's like this weird infantilization of this character Miranda Sings too, where she gets to be like this younger person. And there's a lot of jokes that she makes that I'm like, merch. But yes, she would do a POS job at Costco. Maybe this is the only thing giving her relevancy right now, but it seems like she wants to be loved by a fan base again. I'm sure she was. Imagine how hard that has to be to go from a place where you are adored. Everywhere you go, you are just adored by everyone. Everyone loves Miranda Sings. She was selling out, not stadiums, but selling out like theaters and stuff, and she was widely adored. Spicy bacon. I know, she's here. She's extra spicy.
Mainstream celebrity, at least in the beginning, was that I was attainable, and look, she'll talk to us, she'll interact with us, and she's talking to us from her living room, she'll talk about anything, and she's so open, and she'll talk one-on-one with us. She meets us in person at her shows and whatnot, and we know her, and I didn't think about that there when I was interacting with my fans. I didn't think about a power dynamic that could have been there. I didn't think about a parasocial relationship, and I should have been more responsible in thinking about that, but I didn't even think of myself that way. I was like, yeah, we are friends. Like, I think I felt this.
See, and that I could understand, right? Some people don't understand. Hi, Will. Some people don't understand the parasocial dynamics, right? It's hard for people to understand when women's rights and women's lefts merge. We need to write that. Put that in the Discord. I support women's rights and women's lefts. She wasn't selling out Costco, so that's right. But the thing is, you know, some people don't really grasp parasocial relationships, because that is true, right? And I've had that myself, where, you know, you're through a screen and people think that you are something to them. They think you owe something to them. You know, let's say I were to blow up and get 1 million subscribers. There's a lot of people out there that would be like, you owe me this because we pay for your bills. And it's like, well, no, me doing all the content pays for my bills. You watching pays the bill. There's like this weird thing, but people think because I'm obtainable, because you're on screen with me, because I reply back, that then I owe something to you. And I stand firm in my content creator bubble here. I don't know shit to nobody. Nobody. I would say the old adage is, if you're not fucking financing or feeding me, then I don't have to answer to shit. But since you're in my chat and you're financing me, I guess I do a little bit. That goes against everything that I just said. But actually, yes, I want this merged. Okay, perfect. We'll do that. I support women's rights and women's lefts. So yeah, I understand. Hi, Robin. I understand the, you know, maybe she didn't understand the power imbalance, but also, like, when she's like, oh, I just thought we were all friends. These kids are 13. 13. It's funny because my sister, we have her on stream, right? She's 17 years old. I am 40. There are things that I am not comfortable talking to her about because she's 17. It's not hard. It's not hard. There's some things that we joke about. There's some things that, you know, whatever. But like, I don't need to give her intimate details of my fucking marriage or my relationships. I also, as her sister, don't need to know any intimate detail. Like, there's just, or just as an adult, go get friends your own fucking age. And here's what I have to say. If you cannot relate to children, or I'm sorry, if you cannot relate to people who are at the same age or above, and you only have a group around you that is significantly younger, to me, that's a fucking problem. Why? Why are you 28 and the only people that you can like connect with are 13? Little Ham is the best. Is it not illegal for an adult woman to send her drawers to a minor? I don't know. I'll never fucking gamble with that. I don't know. And the same is true for every performer to consumer relationship, right? At the end of the day, as a content creator, I am my own person with my own life and my own autonomy who creates content that you choose to consume. For people to be like, we pay your fucking bills and we do this. No, you don't. You don't. Because if there was no content made by me, you wouldn't have it to consume. Do I think that there's a give and take? Yes, but there's sometimes people who just cross those lines, especially with like YouTubers. For example, I have to tell you, there's a woman on TikTok right now. She's going through stage 3 or 4 cancer. Okay. And she's reached out to a makeup artist named Jaclyn Hill. And she's like, I want to pay you to do my makeup. And the drama channels right now are flaming Jaclyn Hill because they're like, you won't even do her makeup. You won't even talk to her. You won't even do this. And would it be nice if Jaclyn did? Sure. But from a content creator standpoint, why is it on Jacqueline to just give anything when somebody demands it for whatever reason? You know, and it's just YouTubers and content creators, they walk such a fine line. Whereas if somebody was like, I want my makeup done by Lady Gaga, everybody tag Lady Gaga, nobody would be like, fucking Lady Gaga won't do her goddamn makeup. Like, it's just, these are people. They're all just still people. And the thing is, too, is, you know, if Jacqueline Hill isn't comfortable doing that and she doesn't want to, then she shouldn't have to. I don't know. A lot of people tell me if you think I'm wrong, because a lot of people have a huge issue with this right now. And from a content creator's perspective, I should not be required to do anything that I don't fucking want to. I shouldn't. Little Ham is a shiz. Problem is she's not funny to people with a developed brain. Yeah, hence the children.
The same way. And so for me, I was like, well, I'm just talking to my friends. I talk to all of them like they're my friends, my sisters, all the fans. And I definitely should have been more careful with the way I was joking with them and the things I was saying to them.
Do you feel like not having a team earlier in your career hindered you from making better decisions?
I definitely wish I had someone to give me advice. I was with that.
Oh my fucking God. I've never watched. I didn't even know Raven Simone had a fucking podcast. To ask an adult, if you had a team, would you not have interacted with children? Is this a joke? And then she's like, I wish I had somebody to tell me not to. Even friendships need bound. Yes. 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 This is weird. This is weird. Yeah, well, now it's us that my sister knows what a vulva is. Ugh. I think fans are more cringe than influencers these days. Everyone has a podcast now. I know I should know that. But yeah, no, I gotta say, fans are fucking weird. Weird. And like to watch also, like, if I don't like something, and I will die on this hill if this makes me have negative subscribers. And that's why I say what I say in my videos. Do your own research, form your own opinions. This one is mine. This is mine, okay? If I ever went on the internet and said I didn't like something, and then I had 100,000 people being like, yeah, fuck you, I would be irate. I would be like, hey, do any of you guys have your own fucking brains? And also, can you, like, not piggyback off my shit? Can I just be a person with my own opinion? But then you have these other, like, you know, so these people came out and they talked about Colleen and how she was doing bad. And then all of Colleen's fans went and, like, gave them death threats and were like, fuck you, Miranda's the best. And it's like, go touch grass. You know what? She seems like an apologist. But that's the thing. Do you think if you had a team, I wish she would have said, do you understand at this point, right? You're a mother, you've had children of your own. Do you understand the severity of the things that you did to these kids? I can't fucking stand when people go on to interviews and then other people who are interviewing them fucking pussyfoot around. Ask the questions that we all want to hear, hold the people accountable, or don't have the fucking interview. It's like my same issue with Sherry Papini. All you're doing is platforming them. All you're doing is giving her another platform and opening her up to people that don't know her to be like, oh, it's not that bad. People have the right to set personal boundaries, and they will vary by situation, context, age, mental, and emotional state. Absolutely. I need to figure out how I put it on here. I have to figure this out. But yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. It doesn't matter. Even if you're my same age, I'm allowed to have boundaries of my own. And so are you. So are you. Whether you're the same age or older or younger or whatever. Everybody's allowed to have boundaries. Now I have to go back because I don't know what we're talking about.
With them and the things I was saying to them.
Do you feel like not having a team earlier in your career hindered you from making better decisions?
I definitely wish I had someone to give me advice. I was with that group of like the first YouTubers that kind of like rose to any sort of stardom or fame, in the beginning. So it's not like there were people before me doing this that I could look to and ask questions about. This was a new thing. Yeah. And I'm not saying that as an excuse. There's plenty of other people who rose to fame who didn't interact with their fans. And but it was something that I felt was...
You can interact with your fans. Nobody said you couldn't interact with the people who support your community. I do it all the time. You can interact with people on a work relationship. You can interact with people and be like, hi, how's your day? I have a Discord where we have people in there and we all interact. But you know what? I'm not going into my Discord being like, hey guys, what's your favorite position? Show me your butt. Like, I mean, if I did, I doubt they would care, but I'm saying, like, you can, Anyways, yes, if you do not have the guts to ask the questions, do not even start. I'm not saying that as an excuse. Follows up with excuses. Exactly. It seems like she still hasn't learned. I don't think right. And I don't, which worries me listen, I've done a lot of fucked up shit. Okay. If I ever come out with a podcast where I can just talk openly and freely, I used to be a piece of shit garbage human. Okay. Luckily, I've had enough self-awareness to just kind of slowly understand my mistakes. And then I had children and I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, and then I had my daughter and I'm like, no, like you just learn about yourself. But that's the point of going through your 20s and, just living a life. Okay. Just living a life and being a human being. But you learn. And what bothers me from this whole thing is she's now a mother of 3. And there's never at one point that she looks at this and is like, oh my God, how would I feel if a grown adult sent underwear to my child? How would I feel if a grown adult asked my baby what their favorite position is or talked about tampons and periods and whatever? Like the lack of self-awareness is what is bothering me at this point.
An appeal to why people were watching me at all. And I felt such pressure to like make sure I made my fans happy because I wanted to do anything that they wanted and I wanted to write back to every letter and respond to every message and whatever they asked for I wanted to give them and do because they were the reason I had the career that I have. Mm-hmm. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't have the life that I have and the amazing career that I had. And
it sounds like everything you were doing online was from a place of trying to please your fans and connect with your fans and
not lose them.
And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. You can write the letters. You can say hi. You can say, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. And you could mean all of those things instead of saying, like, let's talk about my period. The fuck?
Yeah, that's pressure. But even with all that, I wish first there was someone there to help guide me and say like, hey, this could look bad taken out of context. This could look like, this could make someone uncomfortable. Or, I wish there was someone there to kind of help.
You know what though, too? And I don't know if I think differently than other content creators. I don't know. I don't know anybody else who is a content creator besides myself. But for example, I had just put out a video about Ajika Owens and it cost me some subscribers. And my first thought was good. Bye. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Okay? I don't fucking care. Because one, we're talking about important things on this channel. And if you're not interested in hearing those things and you don't like my thoughts about it, cool. I'll see you when I see you. But also, like losing, I'm not going to genuinely give up who I am and what I believe in to keep subscribers. Like I'm not it. And like she has millions. You have millions. So you had to degrade yourself down so much to keep a couple of fans. I think you had enough. Maybe to some people, I guess it's never enough. But the thing too with content creation, you're not going to be for everybody. Every time I upload a video or a live or a short, there's going to be somebody who's like, you know what? Not for me. Swipe past or unsubscribe. Fine. I'll find my people. My people will find me. And you with 6 million followers and sold out theaters, you didn't have enough people that you couldn't not send inappropriate shit to the kids because you didn't want them to leave? Like, what kind of fucking excuse is that? I didn't want to lose my fans, so I abused them. I can attest to the fact that my kids have changed me for the better. I'm a much better person now, calmer, kinder, more thoughtful, and more appreciative of the fart jokes. Dude, the way my kids fucking fart, it's not right. I think they're dead inside. Honestly.
Guide me, but at the same time, I'm also disappointed in myself that I didn't know better because other people did. So why didn't I? You know, so that's something that I've had to work through is like, why didn't I think more about this? Why didn't I think more about, you know, a parasocial relationship? But
do you have answers to those questions?
You know, I think it all boils down to me just really wanting to make them the people pleasing tendency of like, I want to do this because this they're begging me to.
You wanted them to love you.
I wanted them to love me. I wanted them.
At what cost? At the end of the day, that's a question that I would have asked her. At what cost? And was it worth it?
Them to like my content. I wanted them to be happy with what I was putting out there because, like I said, everything that I had was because they supported me. And so, you know, that's what I was trying to do. But it would have been so much better for me to think about their well-being and if this would affect anyone in a negative way. Like, that's what I wish I had done.
When did you know realize? What? And here's the thing. Do I think that people can grow and change? And yes, because I am a person who has grown and who has changed. And I've said this for a long time. If somebody out there tells you that I'm the worst fucking person that they've ever met in their whole life, and if somebody next to them tells you that I'm the best person that they've ever met in their whole life, believe them both. Believe them both. I've been both. I've been the worst person and I've been the best person. And the thing is like you can fuck up and you could make mistakes. And then, you know, I really wish this was her first video and was like, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know why I made these decisions. I don't know why I thought this was appropriate. I really don't. I have no idea why I thought this was appropriate. But instead, she comes out with a fucking ukulele. And then 2 years later, she still doesn't have answers as to why this was inappropriate behavior. The only thing I've heard her say is it was inappropriate behavior, but not the why. Dude, if you're the worst person someone's ever met, they only know saints. Don't talk to my ex-boyfriends, okay? Don't talk to any of my ex-boyfriends. Everyone has a core self that they must remain true to. And when you drift from that, you feel the pain and self-loathing. Well, and here's the thing. Like, for me personally, this is a personal journey. I grew up in a super, super tumultuous, just abusive household. So when I started to get out on my own, I didn't know how to undo any of those very sick patterns. And I was very destructive. And I did not care who the fuck was in my way. I was going to hurt everybody before they could hurt me. And then it started to calm because I was so separated from that environment that I was like, oh, like at the end of the day, it's just me. And like the only person that I could blame for all this drama and all this bad behavior is myself. I am the tornado. I am the only one now causing this chaos. So then you start to try to like rein it in and you start to lose relationships and you're like, okay, fuck, you know. And then I went back to my house And because I was separated for so long and then went back and I was in it all again, I'm like, the fuck? I don't want to be here. And then I met my husband, and my husband was the first person that I tried some of my stupid shit on. And he, 2 weeks in, we're just talking, whatever. And he's like, what did he say to me? I don't even know what came up, but I was like, hey, I don't care what you're doing. You're out fucking bitches. That's your own problem. Don't tell me about it. I don't want to know. You do your thing. I'll do my thing. Right? Like very guarded. And he just looked at me and he goes, oh, okay, well, I think I might be a little bit more invested in this than you are. He said, but I would like you to tell me what this is so that I don't invest too much of my time and my energy. And I was like, fuck. Shit. All the red alarm bells went off and I'm like, no, a person who's acting like an adult. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And then I was like, all right, well, and that's when we like started to be exclusive. And I'm like, all right. I think my husband was the first person that I've ever been with that I've truly respected. And that changed everything for me. Because also too, my husband at the time when we started dating respected me way more than I respected myself. And that changed a lot of things for me. So yeah, it's a super tough adjustment when you're out on your own and you don't realize that you're causing this chaos. But you can learn and you can say, like, if somebody came to me and they were like, hey, listen, you really hurt me. I'd be like, fuck yeah. I did not have the tools at the time. And I'm sorry for that. You know, if anybody ever sees me and feels like I, did them wrong, and I probably did, I'm fucking sorry. Like I truly am. Because I'm just so not that person anymore. Now, with that being said, I still have my faults. I have my boundaries up. They stand very firm. Let the bridges we burn light the way. Okay. Like, I don't fucking care. I don't care. But at the same time, like, I also understand, people better and, feelings better and emotions better. And, I'm learning still every day how to just be a better person. And I can only hope for myself that I'm a better person today than I was yesterday. And that's it. And so on and so forth. I will not talk to your exes if you don't talk to mine. Perfect.
That people were starting to be negatively impacted.
Oh man, there's multiple moments because it was, like I said, it was a slow build, but like it was, I'd see people who had been fans for a long time, would come to every show, were commenting on everything that I, at this point I'd recognize because I would talk to them and I knew them, and to see them slowly drop off one at a time, it was like, oh, they're very upset. That was painful and really sad. And I wish I'd listened more when all of it happened. I was so caught up in the things that weren't true that were being said about me that I feel like I wasn't listening to the things that were true. And
I'm interested to know what wasn't true. Like, and that's the thing with these interviews. Again, I would have liked to see Miranda or Raven be like, what wasn't true? Tell me what wasn't true and tell me what was true. Because it's easy to throw that out. Well, there were things that weren't true. So now you don't know what to believe, The
things that I did make mistakes doing and take responsibility for those things. Instead, I was like, well, they're saying all these other things about me that are lies, and that's not true. And
she never took responsibility for anything.
Was angry about those things. And I wish that I had just paused and listened for a second.
There's a lot of things that were said about you. There's been allegations of grooming behavior. Or what do you think they're talking about?
That one that's the one that got me the hardest. When that allegation came up, that's when I was out. I was done because that was devastating and shocking. It was very shocking because I know that my intention and my actions have never been fueled with the desire to manipulate or groom anybody ever. That has never been something I have done or will ever do. And it's a very serious accusation.
Very serious.
So when those kind of words started being thrown around, that's when I kind of was, I kind of shut down. And that was devastating to hear. And, you asked, what does that mean to other people? That's why this was a hard thing for me to know how to navigate, because it wasn't about what did she do or what didn't she do. It was more about what was her intention behind some of these actions, I think. And my intention was being decided for me by people talking about it. My intention wasn't to hurt or do anything negative ever. Now, that doesn't mean that people weren't hurt.
Right.
And that's the part that I wish I had paid more attention to. But I obviously didn't handle the situation the way that I should have. And it's really embarrassing. I wish that I could handle it a lot differently than I did.
When you say that, are you talking about like the apology?
Talking about a musical instrument that I should have not picked up. Yes, I mean, I should have listened to what people were saying, and I should have.
I think people want an apology. I think people want for you to acknowledge the things that happened on stage. I hope that you give that to them.
I agree with you. I think that.
Yeah, I mean, acknowledge the wrongs. You cannot move forward if you don't acknowledge exactly what you did. You have to say it out loud. Say their names at least. I mean, you're bringing up the situation so that your victims have to live it over and over and over again. The least you could do is, say an apology to the action with their name attached to it.
That they do want an apology, and I am sorry. And
To who? For what? To who? For what?
Here's the thing, is when you mess up and when you make a mistake and do something wrong, sometimes you got to keep apologizing for it. And that's what I should have done. Like, and people keep saying it's an apology song. I didn't apologize in that thing.
You did not.
I did not.
You know what?
There
You
was
are correct.
no
You did not
sorry in
apologize.
that.
You did not. I was actually laughing. So that was some crazy penmanship.
We also, in watching it, I remember one of the things that we talked about was it felt like you were angry.
Yeah,
and,
I was.
and burnt out and just
Fed up.
Yeah, fed up.
I was.
Yeah.
And it's very.
Right. She agrees but does not acknowledge. And also for Raven to be like, I was laughing at the ukulele song. This was something she wrote to children who the children have said she wrong. You find this funny?
Very clear that I was angry. And that's why I keep saying I wish that I had just paused for a second and listened to my fans, to my supporters.
And process.
To the people that you wronged. Because I think what happened was she listened to the fans and she listened to the supporters. And they were like, oh my God, Colleen, you're so great, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, yeah, I didn't fucking do this. And then she comes out with a ukulele. But the thing is like, you should have listened to the people that you've wronged. And it doesn't matter if you have one person that you've wronged and you have 100,000 people. You can say, listen, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. I'm sorry my actions, like I'm sorry I hurt you. I wasn't laughing. I was hot under the collar. I have a video reacting to it and I'm like, what the fuck what am I watching? I'm so faulty, but there is a core of me that I know, and the person won't do certain things, won't harm kids, won't harm the weak. Right.
Because while there were things being said about me that weren't true.
I love how she leads with that. Ask again, what wasn't true? What were the allegations that weren't true so we can sift through and find out what was true?
My people who would support me for so many years that I'm up here saying, like, I just wanted them to be happy. I wanted to make them happy. Well, they wanted an explanation. They wanted to understand what was going on. And they deserved that. And I didn't give it to them. Instead, I was angry and sang a song, and which is crazy.
It blew shit up.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I agree.
I'm aware.
Okay, I'm just letting you know that was crazy, bro.
Absolutely crazy. And I think, when the dust did settle, because I like you were saying, I did want to address it, and I was being told. I got a lot of advice from a lot of people, and the majority of the advice was don't say anything.
Honestly, I wish, not I wish, but I mean, if she was going to do anything, she should have just said nothing and gone about her day and just never acknowledged it. Never acknowledged it. Never, ever, ever. Never. Just, but boy, did she acknowledge it.
And I'm sure you know from being in the industry for so long.
I tell her all the time, don't say nothing.
Right. don't address it, don't say anything, it will just make it worse. Don't address it, don't say anything, it'll just make it worse. But I'm a different
Although I've never been in any internet drama and I don't know how to keep my mouth shut, so stay posted.
position than a traditional celebrity because people watch me because I was so open and I talked about everything. I mean, I've talked about everything like that. I've been through my mental health and
these are all fine things, but you've talked about them privately with kids who are like 13. Shut the fuck up. You would have been miles better than what she did. Right.
Births and my pregnancies and my journey to fame. Like, I mean, everything I've been through, I've talked about online very openly. And so, you know, my audience, that was one of the reasons they liked watching me. And so then to suddenly be like, not only am I not going to talk about this, I'm going to sing this song about it. And like, and it was such a
Dear mess.
choice.
It was such a choice.
I very much.
Such a choice, bro.
Yes.
Yes.
And so I think, you know, I was like getting so frustrated because I was just like, let me just address this. Like, please let me just talk. I just want to talk about this. And so finally after I posted the video, it was shortly after I posted it, I was talking to someone on the phone.
It's funny though, too, because she hasn't felt bad enough about it to fucking take it down. I'm pretty sure it still lives. Give me a second. And she monetized it, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, it's got 2 years ago on Colleen's vlogs, 20 million views. 20 million views. And she has never. You don't feel bad enough to take it down. You don't feel bad enough to take it down.
For my team. And I was like, oh, that was a huge mistake. That was really stupid. It was like there was so much, I have to say something. And finally I let it out.
What does regret feel like?
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. Because you can't.
Also, have you ever, even if you haven't done it publicly, have you reached out privately and have said, like, listen, I'm sorry? And the answer is, I don't think so.
Because you want to fix it. You can't fix it. And that's the worst. Like, I wanted to fix it so bad, and there was no fixing it. There was nothing I could do to fix it. And that was so awful. That was so, because not only did I not address anything that I wanted to address, not only did I not, you know, dispute the lies that I wanted to dispute, and I just made things worse. It was so bad.
So where do you think your mind went during that time that you were so unable, I guess, to have the perspective you have now?
Were you trying to save a character? Were you trying to save yourself?
How do you, I don't know. I'm saying that it might be monetized. I could be wrong. How do you check if a video is monetized? I thought it was because there's like ads in it. But sometimes YouTube puts ads on your video, even though you may not have it monetized. But dude, if she does have it monetized, 20 million views, dude, it's brought in some money.
You trying to?
Were you just like completely
blacked out in
kind
anger?
of disconnected from it, and you're like, I'm just going to do this because I'm pissed?
I feel like it was a little bit of all of it. I mean, it was.
But the funny thing is, too, I don't even remember what the time period was between the allegations and the ukulele video, because she waited forever to come out with the ukulele video. So it wasn't even like she flew off into such a rage and like just did that. Also, you had enough time to write a fucking banger about it. Like, hi, Zed. How are you?
It was really overwhelming to, you know, have these words thrown around in connection to me and my name that are really horrible. I mean, that's a horrible thing to be and to be accused of when you know that you are not that. especially because, in my opinion, that's one of the worst things a person can be. It probably is. And so to be accused of that, knowing that I'm not that,
Are you speaking of grooming?
Grooming. Grooming and in any way harming
Children.
Yeah. Is the opposite of something or someone I am or ever would want to be. And so to be connected to those words was devastating. It still is. And and you know, that's something that will.
That's the other thing. Why not ask her? Have you taken the video down? You have regrets, right? Have you taken the video down? And if not, why? Why do you continue to leave something like this up? You know it's wrong. You know that it made them feel like shit. You know that it patronized them. Why not take it down?
You know,
it'll follow you around.
It will.
It will follow you around.
It will.
There were moments in your live shows where there were children brought up on stage and you were, as Showbiz says, going for the funny in a lot of moments. However, looking back at moments, there is another person on the internet who is saying that when she went up on stage for your live show, she was a part of the yoga challenge section of your show. And it made them feel gross. Later in life, they were SA'd. And when they look back at that moment with you, they feel similar feelings. Can you dive a little bit deeper into what happened at the yoga?
Why are we so afraid to say their names? We're giving Colleen a platform. Why are we so afraid to say the victims' names? Her name was Becky. Not someone on the internet. Someone on the internet dismisses her name as Becky. She's a real fucking person. And if you're willing to platform Colleen, you should be at least able to say the victim's name to her face. Oh, I can check? Tell me. Third-party tools claim to be able to check. Oh, like TubeBuddy or vidIQ. I don't have that. All right, I'll check. Yep, saying the name of the perp, giving the perp a fucking platform, and you can't even say the victims' names is, yeah, it's backwards.
The challenge.
It was a challenge on YouTube for a while for people to try out different yoga poses. Like couples would do it together because if you're not experienced in yoga, it's difficult to do. And so since I'm a YouTuber on my live show, sometimes I would do challenges from YouTube. So I did that challenge and I'd have people come up on stage and we would try out different yoga poses that popped up on the screen. And obviously we could never do them and I would be, you know, flailing about as Miranda. And there was one pose where there are two people and both legs are spread open, you're holding each other's legs. And I genuinely never thought of it as a sexual or inappropriate thing. To me, the joke was that when the legs were open for...
She was a young girl who had a skirt on. Raven and Miranda, you have a platform of 125,000 subscribers. Did you not do research before you sat down with this woman? An underage girl was on stage in front of hundreds of people. She put her on her back. She opened her legs, and this child had a fucking skirt on. I feel bad for giving them the fucking view. Good God.
To do the pose, the fart sound effect came on the screen. So it was like once the legs opened up, there was a fart sound. And to me, that was all I thought that joke was. I never knew that that was something that would make someone feel uncomfortable and trigger emotions and feelings. I feel terrible about that. Genuinely, when I heard about that, I felt so bad because that is something I'd never want to do is trigger anyone, but especially a girl.
And that's another thing that they could have asked her. So you had a young fan come on stage to do the yoga challenge. You notice that she's in a skirt and you decide to go through with it anyways.
Who's been through horrible things in that manner. Like that, it feels so terrible that me doing this silly yoga joke, in my mind, a silly yoga joke could be something that could trigger her in such a negative way and affect her in such a negative way. And it's awful. And I'm really proud of anyone who's been able to come forward and express that.
I'm really proud of Becky, who was able to come forward and express that.
Because I want kids and minors and anyone to be able to feel like they can speak up if they're uncomfortable. And they can speak up about things that they feel are not okay. They need to be able to feel that way.
Ew.
Certainly, the things that I've done in my comedy in the past, like there's so many things I look back and go, oh my God, I would never do that. Now I can't believe I did that. And it was for the laugh. You're on stage and it is different than.
Right. And would it be funny if it was your kids? Would it be funny? Ha ha.
When you're online and you can read comments from people who go, hey, that's not cool. And you can go, oh, crap. When you're on stage and everyone's laughing and enjoying it and then telling you after, that was the best part of the show when you did this, this, and this. And a lot of the comedy that I did with Miranda, when my audience shifted, I was like, okay, how do I keep this audience that liked this crass humor and now appeal to this younger audience that now is growing so much? And my solution to that was I will still do these more crass innuendo type jokes and it'll go over the kids' heads and then the parents will have something to laugh at and the adults will have something to laugh at that are in the audience. And that was my solution to that.
That was you rectifying what was going on stage?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I thought, well, everyone knows that I'm a safe person and I don't mean anything negative by this. I was like, well, everyone knows this is in jest, and so it's fine for me to do this because the crass jokes will go over the kids' heads and the adults will laugh at it. And that is how it seemed to me. I didn't think more about how that could be affecting the younger people in the audience.
Do you feel like you have a different perspective now between, let's say, like bad judgment and harmful behavior?
I definitely do. Yeah, I certainly think that and especially now, now that I'm a mom, obviously every choice I make, I think about how it could affect my children. And I wish
how it could affect my children. Keyword.
That I went into my interactions with my fans with that same mindset of like everything I say can affect them and think about how this can affect these people that you're interacting with.
Did parents ever confront you after? Did you ever get any kind of interaction with an adult who said, this didn't feel good for me and my child?
No, I never did personally. I don't know if someone got that message and I never received it. The only complaint I ever remember receiving in that way, in person from a live show or anything, was at the beginning of my shows, I used to do a ukulele song where I would,
ukulele.
I know, where I would sing the hate comments that I received. And there was hate comments. So there was a lot of bad language and the comments were on the screen and I would sing them. And we did get some complaints about that. They were like, you're saying bad words like in the first 5 minutes of the show. And I have my young kid here, whatever. And so then I changed it. I bleeped the words on the screen and I bleeped the audio of it too so that you couldn't hear or see it.
See how easy it was to adjust? Wow.
And we also changed on the website everywhere, like, this is a PG-13 show, like, making sure everyone knew that this was not a kid show because I got that complaint. And so I don't know if we were getting that complaint and it was stopped before it got to me or not, but I never received a complaint like that. And in fact, I was usually told, oh my gosh, these jokes that were, they didn't get it, but it was so funny I can't believe, it was always the shock of like, I can't believe you said that. I can't believe you did that. And I was always told that it was all funny and it was so ridiculous and over the top. And
time is interesting.
That's what happens when you have a bunch of yes people around you. You're just like, oh yeah, you're so funny, you're so talented. Instead of somebody being like, hey, these are fucking kids.
Time is really interesting because if you go back in time for entertainment, there's been many a comedian, many a entertainer that has done things in their early career that when they look back on,
sure,
they wish they didn't.
Sure. There's also a lot of shit that we thought was funny a long time ago. And then you evolve and then you get out in the world and you start and you're like, oh, shit. That's not funny. So, you learn and you evolve and that's fine. But we're not talking about just this stage. We're talking about the fact that she had a private chat, not a Discord, she had a private chat, like text messaging. Children. Why are we forgetting this?
Because culture changes. While
imagine being able
No,
to
I don't
build
want to
an app.
imagine shit. Leave me alone.
people were laughing with you.
Right.
And
this is not the same thing. This is not the same thing. They've morphed it into something that it's not, something completely different. This isn't just about how, like, you know, she made some racist jokes and then now it's not funny anymore. This is about she had private chats with children. She would text children from her own
quote unquote at you because of the character. It must feel so like two-faced for you, for all these people who were laughing with you, and then all of a sudden
have them turn against you.
Is this a fucking joke? Hey, Charlie, thank you. Thank you. Is this a joke? Is this a joke? It must feel so two-faced that the people who were laughing with you have now turned against you. Charlie, we're talking about Colleen Ballinger trying to apologize again, but for some reason, she just can't seem to do it. Thank you. Thank you for the thumbs up. But I want you guys to listen to this again. Listen to what Raven says one more time.
Told, oh my gosh, these jokes that were shock of like, I can't, and it was so ridiculous and over the top. And
You know, time is interesting. Time is really interesting because if you go back in time for entertainment, there's been many a comedian, many a entertainer that has done things in their early career that when they look back on, they wish they didn't because culture changes. While people were laughing with you and quote unquote at you because of the character, it must feel so like two-faced for you.
Why do we care about how she feels? Why? What? Am I dreaming? Like, I must be hallucinating right now. I'm hallucinating.
You, for all these people who were laughing with you, and then all of a sudden
Have them turn against
have
you.
them turn against you.
I don't, you know, yes, it's painful to see people who supported me and laughed with me and all this stuff suddenly turn and change their mind about it. But I don't blame anyone but me for, you know, I completely blame myself, especially because I know that people do make mistakes and people can learn and grow and change. And one of my biggest mistakes was not listening and addressing things and taking responsibility
and playing the ukulele.
Yeah, I'm playing that.
Yeah, I don't think that culture changed on this one. This wasn't about culture. This wasn't about she made, some she made body image jokes, or she made some racist jokes, or she made some bigot jokes or whatever, and then all of a sudden the times changed, and which then she would have to adjust her comedy. But she had predatory behavior, and you're right, they're playing apologist for predatory behavior that they would condemn in a man. What a point. I do have to say, when she's like, I have nobody to blame but me, but they didn't just like, it wasn't like you were just too famous and they were like, you know what? No, turn against her, pitchforks. She did something to warrant that. Charlie, thank you for the latte. Thank you. I can only see them in my chat. That sucks. Wait, maybe I could see him. No, oh, that's me. Hold on. I don't know how I get to see them. How do I see them? Oh, I don't think I have that like weird link anymore. Anyways, I can see him in my chat. Thank you. They're transforming abuse into bad jokes. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, for her to say, the only person I can blame is me. Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, like, nobody just turned against you. Nobody just pivoted. There was something that happened. You had zero self-awareness, and then everybody got their pitchforks and torches.
Damn ukulele.
So I just don't want you to forget that.
I will never trust me. I will never forget that.
You don't have to. It's still on the internet. If we have time, we'll watch it.
I went to a fair with my husband and kids, and
I don't care about this.
To me, which is crazy. He goes, "You walk around."
Yeah.
Play it again.
She talks about how she went to a fair and she was going to get a ukulele. Haha, so funny.
explain why there is a clip of YouTube of a little boy eating Cheetos out of your pants. Could you explain that for the audience, please?
Pulling Cheetos. That makes it sound more egregious. Like he's physically eating out of her pants. He wasn't. He was taking.
No, he reached in to her pants while she made some sexual faces, okay? Pulls them out and eats them. Hold on. Just so we make sure we get the context clear. Okay? Somebody tell me how old this boy is.
Give them a round of applause. They did a great job. Good job.
This little boy.
You're my babe too. Love you, Mark. Okay, go away.
Hi, Anna.
All right, James, come here. Have a seat. Okay, have a little seat. I'm gonna get you a microphone. I'm so excited. Here you go. James.
Also, why not show her the clips of this and have her walk you through it?
You know how to woo a lady, James. I have a question for you, James. Now, since you are my summer bae, I was curious, would you like to go on a date with me right now on stage?
I would absolutely love to. I love you, like...
James! I love you too. I've never had anyone so enthusiastic. Come on. Oh, I'm still wearing my horse. How embarrassing. Just let me slip this on.
I have loved this woman forever. I did everything I could to get to this show.
James.
And now she's going to have him stick his hands down her pants to eat fucking cheese balls. And 8 to 12, I don't think this boy is over 10.
Literally everything I did, I did everything to get here. Literally, I did. I'm so happy to be here.
James.
Literally, I love you, and here's my goal.
I think I found a winner, ladies and gents. I'm stuck on my crock. Got it. James, I love you so much.
I love you too.
I know. James, I'm so excited. Okay, so we're gonna go on a date together. Whoa, sorry.
Sorry.
That was the sound of my heart. So, we're gonna go on a date together right now.
Okay.
But first, we need to talk about how we're teaching everyone to go on a date at summer camp, okay? So this is what we're teaching them. So the first thing we have to learn is where to go at summer camp, the perfect place to go, okay? So the best place to go while you're at camp to go on a date is deep and dark into the woods where no one can see you or hear you. So, oh, look, we're already here. Look at that, James, you little rank star.
Already here.
We're already here. We already did it. All right, so
this is like a dream to be here with you right now. Like, oh my gosh.
I agree, James. It's a dream come true to be in the middle of the woods where no one can hear us. All right, James. So
this is so funny.
We have to talk about what to do on the date to have some chemistry. So one good way to have a good time on the date is to share a snack together. Now listen up. There are lots of bears in the woods who will eat your snacks. So you have to learn how to hide them. So I'm going to teach you how. So stay right there, James, okay? I'll come right back.
Are you going to, like, bring some snacks over or something? Did you, like, pack them in a lunchbox or something? I literally I've never just...
This poor kid.
Okay, here. Oh, again, you
can fit that in your face.
Oh, but I'm so hungry, James. Hold on, I got a snack.
I brought self-help.
Now, could she have given him the cheese balls? Sure. But that's not the choice that she makes, is it?
James, I'm just kidding. I love you. I'm just kidding.
I brought self-help with me, and I was just wondering.
Well, shouldn't you know if you've read it? I'm just kidding, James. I'm just kidding. I love you. I'm just kidding. So, do you want a cheese ball?
I'd love them. I can't believe I'm reaching in there right now. That was delicious.
So the other thing that I want to point out is at the beginning of this video, she has older people on the stage with her. She didn't pick one of them. She didn't pick this guy over here who is clearly older. She didn't pick this guy who's maybe in his 20s. She picks this kid. So just so we're clear about what they're talking about, because these two don't want to whatever.
One.
Oh, he was taking a see, that's how things get twisted.
Right. Yeah.
So could you explain it, please?
That's how things get twisted. Just this whole thing is twisted. It's twisted.
Well, I mean, what a crazy thing to hear that there's a woman on stage and there's a young person taking food out of her pants and eating it on stage. I mean, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the joke with Miranda was that I would say and do things that were inappropriate or had some sort of sexual innuendo to them or something like that. And it went over the character's head. Like Miranda was not aware that she was saying something that could be taken the wrong way. That was a lot of the jokes that I did.
Miranda is a character who didn't know that she was saying, the wrong things. She didn't know. Miranda is you. You is character.
It's the character. And so in that particular part of the show that I did, it was probably 8 to 10 years ago that I used to do that bit. Miranda was teaching the audience how to sneak food into the movie theater. And so I stuffed a big bag of cheese balls in my pants. Now I was wearing layers of clothing because throughout the
You literally said you were taking cheese balls to the woods where you guys are alone and no one could hear them scream.
show.
Which would have been just as funny, like, on a 20-year-old guy who's uncomfortable on stage. Like, but it had to be the child? Right.
I put more clothes on over my clothes on stage. When I transitioned from me into Miranda, I, in front of everyone, put on more clothes. So I'm wearing lots of layers of clothing, and then there's the cheese balls in a bag and in my pants.
It doesn't matter how many. I could be wearing 25 shirts, okay? I could be wearing shirts fucking out to here. If I have an 8-year-old put his hands where they don't need to be, it is still inappropriate.
So
the fuck?
Initially I would bring up an adult, and I'd start eating the snack as we're quote unquote watching this movie, and then I'd say, do you want a snack? And then they would take a cheese ball from the top of the bag and eat it. It was supposed to be like, she doesn't realize how inappropriate this looks. And then, there's a clip, like you said, of when a younger person came on stage and did that with me. And
a younger person came on stage and did that with me. There were 2 other adult males on the stage with you.
The audience is laughing and you could see my reaction, like, this is a weird situation that I'm in here. But it got a big laugh, and everyone knew that it wasn't Jess. And this is me trying to, rationalize. That's the word. Yes, rationalize the situation. But shortly after, I'd say within a year of doing that joke, I cut it because I was like, I think this.
Within a year of doing that joke, you what?
Cut it. I stopped doing it because it was. I'm my
right. I also love this younger person, a child. I love when they do that to female victims and they call them young ladies. Young ladies, young a girl or young woman. Right. Good catch.
Where a lot of them were younger at this point. So I was like, I'm not gonna, obviously this joke is not, I'm not gonna do this anymore. It's not working. It's not appropriate. And So obviously, I cut that. I regret doing that. I should have never brought kids up on stage, even though the joke was.
So she's aware of what's appropriate and what isn't appropriate at this time, but not aware enough to understand what's appropriate or inappropriate in these text messages with kids. It's interesting how selective that is.
That Miranda doesn't know that this is inappropriate, and the audience is
Miranda doesn't know that this is inappropriate.
Like, it doesn't matter. I should have been like, if I'm going to do this joke, it's in my adult show that I'm doing with adults that are consenting and know that this is the joke, that Miranda doesn't understand that this could look bad.
So you have admitted to sending lingerie to an underage fan. And I know you've talked.
Adam McIntyre. His name is Adam McIntyre. He's a YouTuber here on YouTube. He's an influencer. He's a content creator. Say their fucking names.
Talked about this before, but I would like to ask you one more time to address this and kind of what happened and how you're feeling about it now.
Yeah, what an idiot is how I feel about it now. I think it was like 10 years ago, something like that. I was doing a live stream, and I always loved giving away gifts to my fans online. So I would send them like a bobby pin of Miranda's or a lipstick of Miranda, an old shirt, you know. Usually it was to encourage them to donate to a charity event that I would do every year. But I loved giving out stuff. And so I was doing a live stream like I did pretty often, and I was opening up a box of clothes that I had bought, and in it was this underwear bra set that I didn't order, and it was we were all laughing about it. So everyone in the chat was laughing about it, me and my friend, and he actually put it on over his clothes and was like, "Look at this," and we were laughing about it. And there are people in the comments saying, "Oh, send that to me, send that one to me," and we were like, "We're not going to do that. That's crazy." But then there's one fan in particular.
All right, let's take a look at it. Let's see, lingerie live stream. Let's look at how she truly acted. Where is it? I know it's like of them sitting on a couch. I should just make a video, a long form video, like dispelling. Maybe I should do that. Do you guys want that? Do you want a video of all the contradictions in this apology? Hold on, let me see if Adam has
Hi everyone, before this video begins.
Hold on, here's Adam's video. I know oh yeah. Okay, so he has a clip of it. Okay. So let's take a look at it. So they put it on.
Screaming homeschooled Christian University realness.
Adam, Cookie Ballinger said, "Hi, you are such a fashion icon," and tweeted the ugliest picture of me. This is honestly the worst outfit.
Okay, you guys got it. I'm going to make a video that will have all the contradictions in it, which is good. I need some things to mix in with the true crime that'll just kind of floss my brain. But this one, something about this that just I don't like.
He's so rude. What made you order these ugly clothes?
Adam.
Those clothes are nasty. He's so rude. Oh my God, he's so sassy. Your Twitter account is making me laugh so much. Oh my God, that makes me laugh. I want to send him something. Do you want the bra, Adam?
Adam, do you want the bra and panties? Tweet.
Is that the part where she's like, "Oh my God, we were like, absolutely not, absolutely not." So that's what I'm going to do. My next video that I'll be doing my research on will be all the contradictions in this video and how she's full of shit.
Who kept
You know
asking-
what? At this point, I would have rather heard a fucking part 2 to that stupid ukulele song.
Us to send it, and I was like, obviously you can tell in the live, like I'm like hesitant about it because there is a little bit of brains in there somewhere that was like maybe not, because I hesitated, but then I was like, and I didn't send it. I didn't, but then it was just became an inside joke with the fandom, and everyone was like telling me to send it, and he kept asking for it. It was like months of this.
You asked. You asked, do you want the bra, Adam? Oh my God, this video is going to be so fun. Honestly, the contradiction videos, what state was this? I don't know. But Adam lives in the UK, so it's across state lines. I believe that's a federal offense, my friend. But yeah, no, honestly, Proving Bitches Wrong is my favorite game, right? Because we've done it with Nicole Kessinger. We've done it with Sherry Papini. And now we're going to do it with Colleen Ballinger. Because you're all a bunch of stupid bitches who are full of shit.
And so finally I did, and it was very public and as a joke. And it was like a part of my brain was missing in action of like, hey, this is not a good idea. This looks bad. It wasn't a pair of my something that I sent to a young fan in a inappropriate way, but it was inappropriate. Like, what part of me thought like, everyone will know this is a silly joke in the fandom? Like I wish I'd never done that. That was so inappropriate. And if he was made to feel uncomfortable.
And Adam, I would love to see her just look at the camera, break that fourth wall, and be like, Adam, I am so sorry. I am so sorry to your mother. I am so sorry. And Adam has also said that people came after his mom, her parenting. Like, oh yeah, the Kessinger video. I love that one. It's a good one. I like it. Because Nicole Kessinger sucks. Do my voices work anymore? Nicole Kessinger sucks. Does that not work anymore? What's happening to my FX? Why don't they work? Do they work? Can you hear them and I just can't? Oh boy. That would suck. You have to tell me if my voice changed.
Because of that, like, I feel terrible and I'm so sorry because that was not my intention with that. I thought it was like a silly inside joke with the whole fandom. It was all very public and I thought it was a silly thing and it was so stupid.
It's also difficult, I think, in that specific situation when you feel like you're being given permission, if you will, because everyone is saying kind of the same thing. Everyone seems in on the joke.
I've literally had people ask me in my live streams for my clothes. Haha, funny. Yeah, it's a joke. You don't have to then take the extra step to box it up. Why is it not working? Charlie, thank you. Thank you. Why aren't usually you can see the GIFs on the thing.
Everyone seems to understand it. Everyone is saying, send it. And then you have this person not dropping it after that, but continuing the conversation weeks after this has happened. I can see where you don't think about potential negative consequence because in that moment.
Hold on. I'm going to see if I can find that thing so that all the GIFs will show up on screen. Charlie, thank you. I know. I don't know why they're not working. Let me see if I can figure this out. I probably can't. Because oh, you know what? I probably need my laptop. Dang it.
It feels pure.
And you're not sending it in a sexual manner.
It does. Did you see it? Let's take a look at it again. You're not sending it in a sexual nature. Raven, I don't know what your middle name is. Simone. Ugh. I hate this so much. I hate it. You know what? I don't even think it's going to be about Colleen. I think it's going to be about this whole fucking interview. This interview is, I feel insane.
Well, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, like, it was my responsibility to know, I shouldn't send this. This could look really bad. And this could make people uncomfortable.
Yes.
That's where, even though it doesn't matter how many people were egging it on or asking for it or begging for it and thinking it was so funny and everyone, you know, seems like this joke, I should have taken a second and been like, maybe send a bobby pin.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is not the thing to send to someone. This is not something
Not a bobby pin. A silver one or a black one?
Thank you.
Well, I think I usually use the black ones for Miranda.
the brown one, that's
black,
cute.
Reds.
Something else, Colleen, that has come up and been discussed is the fact that you would participate in group chats with your fans, and there were
the Weenies chat.
minors in those chats, and there would be questions regarding their virginity and sex positions.
Right.
Inappropriate questions are being asked to underage people. What was going on?
That's true. It's completely inappropriate. And I used to do this weekly question and answer thing with my audience. And that particular group chat was full of a bunch of different fans.
Hell, God. Google is free. Google is free.
Of all ages, but they were crass and funny and ridiculous. And they would, whenever I asked for questions for my channel, they would ask me questions like that. They would ask me questions they knew I wouldn't answer, that were over the top, inappropriate. So when one of them, which this part of the conversation is now deleted, those parts of the conversations are deleted or gone or somehow, I don't know. But when they asked for questions for theirs, I was trying to do the same jokes that they had just previously been doing with me. Stupid and inappropriate. Shouldn't have done it. I feel really embarrassed and stupid. And
did you know they were underage at the time?
I knew that there were teenagers in the chat. Yeah, I did know
13. 13. There's a big difference between 13 and 17 and 18 and 19. 13. Some younger than that.
And I also thought, well, they all know I'm not serious. I don't want the answers to these questions. They all know that I'm just joking around, like they do this to me, and they know I'm not going to answer the questions. I know they don't want the answers. You know, like, I thought, like, this was, you know, it was clear between all of us that, like, I was joking. I didn't actually want this information from this person. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny to ask a really absurd, crazy question. And there were a bunch of questions I asked. Those were just a few of the awful ones that I did. And I should have never done that. That was crazy of me.
It wasn't in a grooming fashion.
Absolutely not. It was in a stupid fashion. It was like, I shouldn't.
For the laugh?
For the laugh. I thought it would make them laugh. I thought they'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Ha ha ha. Like how they did with me often. They were very funny. That group chat of all these different fans, they were very funny, very dedicated, wonderful people.
So you were being one of the kids.
Yeah, right.
And you had forgotten.
Yeah,
so
right.
You know what's funny? I have a 5-year-old. Okay. I have a 5-year-old who sometimes says some inappropriate shit. And you know what I say to her? That's inappropriate. Please don't say that. Or if she'll ask me something, Mommy can't talk to you about that. That's inappropriate. We'll talk about that when you're a little older, when you have a better understanding. That's inappropriate. We're not going to talk about that. Right. I wasn't thinking, and it was funny. She doesn't need a podcast. She needs to be put on a list. Honestly, like, she's admitted nothing. She's still apologized for nothing.
You were acting more like one of your kid viewers versus remembering that you were actually the adult in the chat.
Why is this not making you angry? So you just forgot that you were like 28 and they were 13. You just forgot. You just forgot.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that lends itself to the power dynamic that you had referenced earlier, where you kind of had lost the awareness of that relationship or dynamic.
There was no part of me that was wanting that information truly from them. I wasn't trying to get anything out of them. I was just trying to be like one of them, which is embarrassing to admit because that was not my
You know what, too? They would have adored had she just gone into the chat and was like, hey, guys, I hope you're having a good day. Hope you guys are doing well. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Bye. Like, that would have been fine. That would have sufficed. God. Yeah, if she was a man, she would have been crucified. I'm sure as a mother, she would not allow, well, I don't know. I shouldn't say I'm sure. I would hope as a mother, she would not be accepting of this behavior around her own children.
Responsibility in that time. I was trying to be silly like them and be their friend, when in reality, I was the one who's supposed to be the responsible one.
You know what's funny is we talk about Little Ham. If you guys are new here, you don't know who Little Ham is. Little Ham is my sister. She shows up on stream every once in a while. She's 17 years old. She's going to be 18 in May. Okay. Little Ham is the coolest kid around. I think she is so cool. I aspire to be like her. Like, I tell her all the time, I'm like, I aspire to be just like you. I really do. She just has an air about her and a personality about her. And I love who she is as a person. I don't ever have to age myself down to try to act cool in front of her friends. Her boyfriend comes over here. Her friends come over here, and never once am I like trying to be like a 17-year-old because I'm just trying to relate to these guys. You could just be you as a person, and they would still enjoy that, and you can still have these relationships on an appropriate level.
I was the adult there that should have never participated in that conversation and should have never joked with him about that kind of stuff. There's the power dynamic there, that parasocial relationship that I wasn't thinking about, which was irresponsible of me. Like, I should have been thinking about that, and I should have removed myself.
Why didn't you want that, though? That's also what I don't understand is, like, why didn't you want separation? That's something because I crave this separation from the internet. When I shut the internet off, my day of work is done. I go and I live my own life. I have my own life. I have something that's very separate. I'm curious to ask her, like, why were you so hell-bent on these groups of kids?
From that chat immediately when they were joking about things that were inappropriate. I shouldn't have ever participated in those conversations. And it was rare that I was in there talking to them, but that is one of the moments where I did interact, and I wish that I hadn't.
Why didn't you have moderators? Did you not have rules for your chats? I have a Discord. I have the Baconators. I have moderators for my adult chat because sometimes you need it. I don't understand. No, actually, my daughter says 6'7", and both me and my sister are like, please be quiet. 6'7", 6'7".
Let's talk about JoJo for a second. So we know JoJo. You
What
know
up, Joe?
JoJo. You became friends with her when she was how old?
They're talking about JoJo Siwa, by the way.
First met JoJo, I think she was 11 when I met her and her mom for dinner because JoJo was a fan. And she and another girl from the Dance Moms show wanted to meet me. So I went to dinner with them.
Some people will say that that was an inappropriate friendship for you.
She was 12.
To develop since she was 11 and you were an adult. But thoughts, feelings.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't look at it as a friendship at first. She was 11.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
11.
I looked at it as a sweet young girl. I loved the show she was on, and she liked my videos and looked up to me. And she
See, and that's the thing. She talks about the power dynamic. I think she likes the power dynamic. She knows that these kids idolize her, and she likes to be in those situations.
to meet me, and to me, I wasn't looking at it as like becoming best friends with her when I met her. It was just a sweet meeting. And then she's a hustler. You guys know JoJo? She immediately was like, well, I want to do, I had a video called Colleen's Corner that I answered questions every week. So she did JoJo's Juice to do the same kind of, she kind of looked at me as like a mentor, someone she looked up to. And, I don't want to speak for JoJo though. It feels weird talking about this without her here, but she can say this herself if she wants. But, so over time we became friends because she was such a hustler. She'd want to collaborate. And so we'd get together and make videos together.
Which was also very common for YouTubers and fellow people in the world to want to collaborate and get to know each other, feed off each other's videos.
Right.
So,
yes, we became friends, but it always felt more like a family thing because I'm a big family person. Like, I love my family. I'm always with my family. We're always hanging out. We're always having family gatherings. And I think that, again, I don't want to speak for her, but, she liked to come over to our family gatherings and hang out with my family where we'd be playing games and, eating pizza.
Why? Why? I'm not out here inviting 11-year-olds to my house. Was this before you had kids? Because I have kids down the street that'll come over to my house to play with my children.
With my parents, and sometimes her mom and her brother would come, and her dad. Like, it was a very family.
They're a big family. The Siwas are a big family.
And my brother and all his kids were there. So he's got 6 kids, and they'd all be there, and we'd all be playing. The kids would be putting on performances, and we'd all be laughing and playing it. So it always felt very like sisterly friends. And yes, now that she's older, and I would definitely consider her one of my close friends, and I love her dearly, and I admire her so much. I think she's incredible. I was very involved with talking with her mother all the time and making sure her mom knew when we were hanging out, and her mom said, I'm friends with her mom. I love Jess.
Yeah.
That's all very shocking to me that people look at us being friends as, I mean, I guess it makes sense considering the allegations that have come up against me, but, I think JoJo's amazing, and she's like a sister to me, and I'll stand by that forever. There's nothing weird or inappropriate about our friendship or our relationship.
But having somebody be a little sister and you're a mentor to them is different than being a friend, in my opinion. You can have people who are younger than you, and you're like, oh, I see you as a little sister, or I see you as an older sister, or whatever. And you can but you have a responsibility when you take over that mentorship. You do. And I believe... And you know what? We'll just wait for the video because I have so much. I have so much. But I believe that she did collabs with JoJo Siwa and was wildly inappropriate in the collabs.
She is amazing. She's my sister, and I have a sister, and she's like a sister to her as well. And JoJo doesn't have a sister, and she's excited that now she does. She calls us her sister. So yeah, it's never been a weird or inappropriate thing.
I have a sister who is significantly, Little Ham is 23 years younger than me. Okay? I do not speak to her the same way that I speak to my friends that are my age, 40 or older. Little Ham is not my friend.
Even though YouTube is a community of non-celebrity and celebrity people coming together and uploading videos.
Any mother who would allow their child to go on Dance Moms and allow that just fucking gross Abby, whatever the fuck her name is, the way I would punch Abby in the face if she screamed at my daughters the way that these children got screamed at. Not a fucking chance. So don't talk to me about JoJo Siwa's mom. Because I'm sure that everything it's always been about her career. Always. And about how it could benefit JoJo and her mom. Bet.
It has become an industry of its own.
I don't mean like don't talk to me and like you don't talk because you said the same thing that I'm saying right now. I mean like anybody. Don't talk about JoJo Siwa's mom because she's gross.
Totally.
I hope that didn't come off personally. That's not what I meant.
Yes.
And within an industry of entertainment, which is what YouTube is now, people are going to interact of all different backgrounds and all different ages. And there are so many YouTube kids that are not on YouTube because they're doing it themselves. They have
Just stay here, Surf Ninja. We have you now. He's like, hope you have a great day today. Bye.
Their parents there with them. And we know Jess as well. We know the family. There will never, ever be a time where Jess is not aware of what JoJo is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she wants to make sure that whatever she does is for the best for her career. Because it's a level of control. Because if JoJo succeeds, her mother succeeds.
And dance is more than just using your body.
Is it? Is it?
I want to keep people aware that we really do have to be careful in how we throw stones at people when we don't know the entire story.
Do you know the entire story now, Raven? Do you know the entire story now that you've only gotten one side, which happens to be the side of predatory behavior? I'll wait.
When there is a culture within the entertainment industry that not a lot of people understand.
Mm-hmm. So much has happened, and I can only imagine that having to absorb and internalize all of this, a lot of it must have made you have to change. I want to know
Hi,
about
Amanda.
some of these changes you've gone through since the height of the controversy.
Well, I'm much more anxious now. And I've been through so much there.
How has your bad behavior affected you? How has your predatory behavior affected the way that you feel? How?
Therapy. And I also just think I go into kind of everything with a different perspective than I did before. I mean, when I responded to everything, I was really thinking about the whole situation from my perspective, obviously. Like, these people have shifted their opinion who are laughing with me and now they're not. And instead of thinking about like, well, why? I was like, that's not fair, you know, which was the wrong reaction. And so now
Well, don't worry, only we've decided that I'm going to make a standalone video to it, so it'll be more cohesive.
Did things a lot differently just in general in life, you know. Even if I feel I have been wronged in any way or whatever, my go-to now isn't like that person's wronged me. It's what are they going through? Why did they say that? What's the root here? Because I think with everything that I went through and everything that I was canceled for, I was so caught up in the things that weren't true. And, well, they're missing the context of this. So, and that was taken out of context there. And this was deleted from this. And, you know, I wanted to explain everything and prove that I wasn't this.
I would have loved that. I would have loved for you to come out and been like, hold on a second. You guys want to, because that's what I would do. You want to call me a predator? Perfectly fine. Let me show you this receipt. I'd have been swiping so fast that there would have been fucking smoke coming off my phone. You want to say something about me? You prove it then. What proof do you have? Prove it. Because I, in 5 minutes, looked up other proof on the internet that is corroborating everything that everybody else has said. Not one thing that you have said. And I've watched this stupid fucking interview for 51 minutes and 57 seconds, and you've said nothing. I'm spitting everywhere.
Horrible person, this monster. But like, in my response, I kind of proved I was kind of like
dismissive.
Yeah, dismissive. And so, you know, I've learned to take a beat and try to hear what people are actually saying. Because yes, there's going to be all the noise. And even when you're just having a little tiff with your partner, they're going to say they're mad about things they're not really. And it's important to try to like sift through the crazy and get to like, what's the root here? Why is this person hurt?
Yeah.
And how can I help them to feel better? And how can I explain this in the right way to help them feel safe and okay when they're not feeling good.
Well, that mindset definitely comes with maturity. You know, that's something that we all have to learn. That's something that people aren't born with. That comes from trial and error. That comes from trauma. And that comes from a situation like what you have been through. Knowing that this lives online forever. How are you going to explain this to your children?
Raven, I am so fucking disappointed in you. Because I would have loved that question to be, knowing that this lives online and that this is forever, how do you think this behavior and this constant reminder affects the people who are victims of your behavior? See how easy that was? See? You know what? I got to tell you guys, I'm never going to get an interview with anybody in any sort of controversy. I'm not. Because I would just email them. Like if it was Colleen, I'd be like, listen, I get to ask you whatever I want. You don't get to back out of any questions, period. I get to ask whatever I want, or you don't come on the show. You don't come on the fucking show.
That's part of the reason why I'm here now. You know,
Yes, this does not change my opinion of Colleen, but it really does change my opinion of Raven. Yes. Yes.
I kind of was of the mindset for so long, like, I just don't want to talk about it. I'm extremely non-confrontational, and I'm very anxious, and I will do absolutely anything to avoid a confrontation or avoid someone being upset with me or to a fault. It's not something I love about myself. It's something that gets me in trouble. And so I don't want to continue to, you know, bring up for people that they don't, you know, it might hurt them, or, you know, I just feel like, you know, people have said how they feel about me, and I'm just going to back away because that's what I think that people want at this point. It's kind of how I felt.
You are coming back around to not say, take me in again.
No.
But you're coming back around to say, I know what I did. I know what I need to change. I'm changing. You don't have to love me. You don't have to like me.
Right.
But you recognize what happened. And that
Right.
takes a lot of fucking courage.
I obviously wish I could go back and do everything differently in my reactions to this whole situation. I feel terrible that I made anyone feel anything other than happy and safe in our little community online. That's all I ever wanted. And I feel so terrible that I disappointed so many people. And I'm genuine. Can't even talk. You're okay.
I'm so disappointed, or I disappointed. I'm disappointed, or that I've disappointed so many people. No, that's not what you should be apologizing for.
Take a beat. Stressed.
The bespoke AI Family Hub Plus refrigerator with...
Yeah, that's great. Do they provide equal time to our victims and equal softball treatment? You're right, because they are lobbing fucking softballs up here.
I should have thought a lot more about my interactions with my fans and how it could affect them. I should have been more responsible and thought about how these things could affect people, especially, you know, the teenagers that were interacting with me. And I'm so now, in hindsight, like grateful and proud of these people for coming forward and saying, like, hey, this is not okay behavior. Because even though I know that I never wanted to hurt anyone and my intentions and my desires were nothing negative in my interactions with these people, that needed to be said. They needed to say, like, hey, this isn't okay, because there are people out there who they do have the intentions to hurt them, and they need to be able to say, like, this isn't okay, and I'm not standing for this, and like my heart was in the right place. It doesn't matter if people felt uncomfortable. I'm proud of them for saying, like, this wasn't okay and this made me uncomfortable, or this is not an okay thing to joke about, or whatever. Like, that needed to happen. And I hope that anyone interacting with anyone online, whether it be a celebrity or a new friend or anyone, goes into it with that caution up of, like, what are these person's intentions, and assuming they're negative going into it, I feel like is a good thing.
Also, do you want to know something else that's going to make you guys fucking cringe? She was best friends with Trisha Paytas. They were gearing up to get started to do a podcast. And it came out that Colleen was sending OnlyFans content of Trisha Paytas, because Trisha has an OnlyFans, to Adam McIntyre, who at the time was underage. She was sending porn of her best friend that she was going to start a podcast with to underage fan and making fun of Trisha Paytas. And Trisha was like, no, I'm not fucking doing this podcast with you. And that was a whole separate thing. That was a whole separate thing. Why didn't they bring that up?
To protect them from
Real predators.
real
Yeah,
predators
real
who actually do
predators.
want to hurt them.
I'd be curious
Real predators. Funny.
to know your thoughts on what you think your spirit is here to learn, because what you've had to endure
It's a big learning lesson.
it's a masterclass beyond. And it has, I think, brought you to your knees. It has made you, as you said, more anxious. It's shifted your perspective. You had to take 2 years away. You haven't been online. I mean, it really kind of changed your life. So what do you think the lesson is for your soul, your being on earth right now?
There are so many lessons. I mean, the things that I've learned and reflected on and thought about over the last couple of years is, I mean, I'm a completely different person now in so many different ways. One is, I mean, thinking about things from other people's perspectives is important because while, you know, I might have been like, I can't believe people would say this. I'm sure everyone watching was like, why? I can't believe she's not addressing this properly. I can't believe she's, you know, they felt betrayed by me, my fans and supporters, that I wasn't addressing this the appropriate way. And
Nobody cares about what you were addressing.
Explaining what was going on. Like, and so I've learned to try to like look at conflict from the other person's perspective. I've also, everything that I do and everything that I say, especially as a person of influence, is I'm impacting people. And is that impact necessary and is it good? Because sometimes you don't need to make them laugh if it's going to hurt someone along the way. Like you don't need to, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Thinking about the long term as someone who thinks in the here right now, what will make people happy right now and make people like me right now, that doesn't always result in good things. You know, thinking in the long term and how is this going to snowball and affect people in the future is it's a way I've never thought before, and it's something I'm still learning and working on, because it is my go-to to be like, how can I make this person happy right now? I just want, you know, and that causes problems. You really need to be thinking about the other person's well-being and how it will affect them in the future.
Yeah.
And so that's something I've learned and I'm working on a lot.
It's apparent that you want to make amends, that you are taking responsibility for.
Is it apparent, Miranda? Is it apparent? Because she has not apologized to these victims, privately or publicly. She has not apologized for specific behavior in this fucking podcast. In this podcast. Oh, my fucking God.
The things that you have done in the past that were not okay. And you've said, I'm sorry now, many, many times before being on the show and now many times today on the show. But I want to know.
But she's never said their names and she's never apologized to them.
Have you been able to, / will you forgive yourself?
Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm done with this. I can't. Will you? What? It's not on her to forgive herself. It's not on her to give herself forgiveness. It's on the people that she hurt. It's on the people who were affected by her bad behavior to decide if they forgive her. What did I just watch? What did I just... Okay. I love it when Bacon loses it. Okay. All right, listen. Here's what I'm going to do. Okay? I'm going to go do my deep research about this topic because, I'm going to come out with a fucking banger. Okay? I'm glad you guys want to see it. Number 1. Number 2, if you guys aren't members and you want to join, we got cool, fun stuff. Number 3, I gotta go wash. I need to go cleanse because what the fuck? And I need to go get my kids from school. And then I'm going to start on this today because, yeah, that's just, it's a fuck. It's a fuck. It's a what the fuck. That's just where I'm at. What the fuck? The fuck. And we'll have merch coming that we support women's rights and we support women's lefts. And yeah, if you guys are in the Discord, I'll see you there. Like, I'll see you. I hate this. I hate this so fucking much.